right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to officially call the meeting to order. I am showing 5:03 p.m. And then we will start with roll call. Ebony, could you lead us in that?
Chair Wah, Vice Chair Rogers,
Present.
Trustee Haran.
Here.
Trustee Whiteley. Trustee Foyt. Trustee Ortiz.
Here.
Trustee Benavidez. Trustee Sanchez. Okay, forgive me if I don't pronounce it correctly. Trustee Doskowi.
Dakowski, yes.
Dakowski, okay, thank you. And Trustee Shelton,
Good evening, present.
and we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Ebony. Ask everyone to stand who's able to for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Ebony, do we have anyone sign up for public comment?
No, we do not.
And Jerry, just checking, we don't need to read the guidelines for public comment if no one signed up. Right. We will move to agenda item number 3, which is board action to accept the proposed agenda. Do we have a motion?
I move to accept the proposed agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any corrections or comments before we call for the question? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Then I'm showing we have an executive session. This will be closed session estimated to require up to 45 minutes, and I'm not expecting it will. So,
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself since I have communication both with the Veteran Rights Commission and the EEOC in an abundance of caution. Thank you.
refusal is recognized. Yes, so during executive session, we are asking everyone who's not on the board to excuse themselves from the room. Yes. And then Trustee Shelton and Dukowski, please stay online along with Councilman Abbott. Okay. And if we don't have anyone else online, so we need to move them to a different room, or we're good. Okay, our trustees online, just bear with us. We're sort of just clearing the room. And we're just going to go to mute until we're ready to start. Ebony, we have the thumbs up. All right, well, we will transition to agenda item number 5, which is approval of the proposed minutes. Do we have a motion?
I motion for the approval of the proposed minutes.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Any comments? All right, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as submitted, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. We will transition to agenda item number 6, the chair's report. And I'll just highlight a couple of noteworthy items, though there are many. One of those items is, we did conduct our initial library retreat, mini retreat, which I thought was very positive with the consultants concerning the collaboration and the relationship forward between the library and the foundation. So they asked a series of questions where we gave, I think, some positive feedback in terms of how we thought the best relationship could be from our perspective. And the next steps would be for the consultants to do the same mini retreat with the foundation trustees. And then they would come back to us to look at both of our individual group responses to see where there's overlap or differences, and then guide us through the next step in the process. So we are very optimistic and encouraged with the direction that this project is going. And then the next update I wanted to share is we had our Summerlin Fall Festival, and attendance was over 7,000, which is 2,000 more than our last year's attendees. So that's a tremendous uptick in event attendance, which is a testament to the work that we're doing in the community and all those who are involved with promoting and executing that event. So we want to give a kudos to all the team members there. And then I want to also go over there's a link there just to call everyone's attention to the schedule for our future meeting locations and dates. So just to bring that to your attention, those are proposed meeting dates and locations for your awareness and planning. And then I do have a few other items, but I'll table those until we get to the report. Then we will transition to agenda item number 7, our library reports. Turn over to you, Executive Watson.
Good evening, Vice Chair Rogers, trustees, staff, everybody in attendance. So I've submitted my report for dated September 30th for the October 23 activities. Some of the things to take note was our continued participation, my participation in national and international and local library initiatives. I had the opportunity to participate in the University of Johannesburg Library in South Africa for the 2023 International Conference, where I served as a panelist for reimagining sustainable libraries. And so I talked about during that session a lot of the work that we've been doing here at the district, along with our strategic plan, as well as the powerful partnership that we've been establishing. Some of the other work that we've been doing, we're currently looking at some additional programming and how we can participate. The library district can participate with the NFL next February when the Super Bowl comes. So there's more to come to the board and to the community on how the library district will be participating there. I also had the opportunity to attend the Vegas Chamber Washington D.C. fly-in as part of the Workforce Connections Board, but also serving as my role as executive director for the library district. Had an opportunity to walk through and discuss some of our workforce connections, employee in the hub work that we've been doing here. I also had a chance to meet with a lot of our congressional delegation and have conversations with them, and really about how things not only, as we know, serving the community, but direct impact on employers in Southern Nevada was the purpose behind the meeting. So certainly thought it was a good opportunity for, interestingly enough, to fly to DC to connect with people who live right here in Las Vegas with. And so I'll stop right there. I just wanted to highlight a few things and, but leave it to the trustees to ask me any questions regarding my report before we turn it over to other reports from the director.
And I'll open up to my fellow trustees to see if there are any questions of Executive Director Watson concerning his report before we move to the individual director reports.
I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to thank you for being out in the community. You know, I'm a big fan of meeting people where they're at, and you do a great job with that.
I did want to ask you one question. If you could just maybe magnify for everyone a little bit about the pop-up project in the hotel. There's access to the.
So this is a project that in line with our strategic playbook, our powerful partners and places. And so actually I was working with UNLV Blackfire when I first got here in the community. And actually Bo Bernhardt, who is running that nation, introduced me to some of the hotel partners. He actually introduced us to the Downtown Grand. And so as part of this conversation, bringing the library to the community, to the public, and really enhancing what we've already been doing with the RTC, the cell phone project, and others, we are working with the Downtown Grand to provide electronic books to the staff, as well as for a limited time to their customers. And so this is something that they're very excited about. They are backing it with some funding and marketing. Our contribution will be, of course, the electronic resources. We plan on using a grant actually to support this initiative. And so we are currently having conversations now in the process of developing the MOU that we'll bring it forward to Council Welch. And it's going to be our first initiative actually putting library resources in our hotels and with our hotel partners. So this is a great first step. Again, the focus is on connecting with the staff that works at the hotel, but really having them, the hotel, be able to provide some resources to their hotel guests as well.
Thank you, Director Watson. Okay, now we'll transition to see if any of our fellow, I think Trustee Dukowski, did you have your hand raised? Okay. We'll see if any of our fellow trustees have any questions or comments or remarks concerning the program and delivery services reports that have been submitted.
Yes, I have a question.
Trustee Sanchez?
I was wondering, do we know how the book machine is going at the Boulevard Mall? Do we know how, like, do we have some numbers on that, on people checking it out?
So we don't have specific numbers on how many books have been checked out, but when we certainly that project grant funded, used more as a access point to that particular community, marketing the library. And so, but we haven't, as we don't probably with many of our other with branches per se, really say this is how many books have been checked out. We certainly can get that information, and I can have that put in a report for the next board meeting.
Yeah, I was just wondering, since, you know, you might develop this somewhere else from what I see from the reports, I was wondering if maybe we could have that number on a monthly basis, because it would tell us if it's being utilized, how much it's being utilized. That'd be great. Thank you.
I go to the movies over there periodically for that. I always see people using the machine when I'm in the mall. I guess the machine's placement across from the theater is really ideal.
Maybe we could look at it on like a quarterly or a semi-annual. I just worry about creating another monthly report for people to have to do, and also for me to digest. Plus trends will be easier to see.
Well, I'm just hoping that we could have it just like we see all the other books that, you know, get moved around. I mean, it's what we do, but that's just my comment. I hope that we do get to see that report. Thank you.
Any other comments concerning the reports?
Mr. Chair, are we moving on reports now? Is it?
Yes, we're in the reports. If there are any
Uh,
reports that you want to pull or questions related to any of the reports submitted.
Mr. Chair, through you, I'd like to have Mr. Vino come up. I had a couple questions.
Good evening, trustees. John Vino, General Services Director for the record.
Thank you very much, and
Of course.
welcome new trustees, first of all.
Yes,
Mr. Vino, and I apologize, I had a sick family member. I'm back on track, but can you quickly tell us about the Mount Charleston Library? Where we're at, and I'm not sure if it's you or John or Mr. Watson. Are the employees, if they're not working, are we paying them or are they assigned to another?
no, they've been
facility?
working at, from the beginning, they were just moved over to the Centennial Hills Library. So
Okay,
no employees, that have been laid off or anything
Okay,
along
good.
those lines.
and
Um,
timeframes for the reopening or construction or where we at?
We're just about done. So it was two phases. The first was to manage the infrastructure on the outside of the building, which was our biggest issue. I think I've mentioned in the past, we had 6,000 tons of rock that was dumped onto our property. That was our first initiative, and we've been working on that pretty much since the August 21st event. We're probably our last week with any heavy equipment. We've managed to rebuild the wash through our property. After that, we had to regrade all of our property to have the right grade down to the wash. And then we built a number of barriers through our acreage to make sure that we didn't have the type of damage in the future if the wash should overflow and come towards the branch. So at this point, the only thing we have left, we did have so much damage to our propane tank that needs to be replaced. That's scheduled for next Thursday. Once that's done, we heat the building, we can put the carpet back in. We will be ready to open the branch. The challenges left after that is we have to wait for the mountain to be reopened, to the public. And the water district doesn't anticipate having water to us till as late as December. We have options. We can purchase equipment that would allow us to be independent of the water system. We would have to supply it, but it would allow us to have water, to meet code. We just have to see what develops, if the road's open, but if we don't have water and we want to open, we do have contingency plans in place to open if the opportunities allows us.
Very good. What's our cost been so far?
A lot less than we thought. We originally were looking at almost $1 million. Luckily, we were able to cut down on the dumping. We were able to leave most of the material up there. We're probably in around 250 to 300,000 out. We have been working with FEMA, so we have all our expenses in. We're hoping very much like everyone else to get most of that reimbursed through that or through insurance. Most of the damage we have inside, which is carpet and some cleanup, will be covered through our insurance. But the outside on the unincorporated or the undeveloped part is not really covered under insurance. So, but
Okay,
we have high hopes.
thank you. I do have a couple more questions unrelated to that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. In your report, you listed that the construction drawings are scheduled to be done by November 1st for the West Las Vegas Library. This has gone on too long, 31 months. Are we going to meet that deadline?
31 months.
Yes, sir.
It was 9 months in May for architectural.
We started this when
So,
Mr. Watson got here. Yeah, but even 9 months, are we going to meet the deadline?
we're gonna be, yeah, it's ready. We're past our 50%. We'll be into the city by November for our permits. Yep.
Okay.
They're working hard at it, but yes.
It's part of it's probably us for making changes.
It was the budget obviously came in, the estimates were coming in high. We had to spend some time doing VE-ing. It's still higher than we anticipated, but we're still working, through it. It's just a combination of things at this time, but overall, we're in good shape for the project, with the groundbreaking December 11th.
Okay, yeah, because the only thing's going to happen is the budget's still going to go higher.
No,
That's why we got to
yeah,
get this
we're-
moving. Okay,
it's, you're right.
Okay, thank you. The last question I have for you is, let's see here, and I do apologize,
No.
just to backtrack a little bit. The street address for the library on Las Vegas Boulevard, did it get changed to the Las Vegas Boulevard address?
I took care of that several years ago.
I know,
You're
but,
talking about Felipe, and it's on the building.
oh, no, that's what I'm asking. Did we find
It's legal. The post office, every.
Enterprise Library. right?
Enterprise Library? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And did we ever bring forward anything on the signage?
We changed the signage to the new address.
You did? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'll have to take a trip. We haven't had a meeting up there. So,
Hmm.
yeah, very good. Thank you. Sorry, I'm catching up here. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Mr. Vino. Then the other last thing is that our gas tanks, Mr. Vino, when are they scheduled to be replaced? The ones here? I mean, at
The one at Windmill, they're
Windmill.
25-year tanks and they're
25
only about
tanks.
10 years old. So,
Okay,
you know, they're inspected, twice a year. They're, we have a little bit of time left.
okay, yeah, because by law, we have to take them out. So, okay,
Yep,
still
yep.
got enough time. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And recognizing trustee Sanchez.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Rogers. Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing well. I wanted to say thank you so much for all your support. And I also wanted to say to the Executive Director, Calvin Watson, thank you for the Summerlin Fall Festival. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. And I know how much you and your staff were involved in making that
Appreciate it.
happen. And knowing that there are 7,000 people is truly amazing. I had the privilege to volunteer my time with my daughters and help set up the event on Friday night and also work it in the morning till the evening. And I got to meet wonderful, wonderful library staff, and so many staff members were singing your praises because you were so supportive. And you don't have to be there, you just have to help get it on the ground running. So I wanted to tell you, thank you very much for
Thank you.
that.
Appreciate that. The staff does too.
Yeah. And then the other thing is regarding the West Las Vegas Library. I know you're saying that the numbers are high. Are we, and you still have more numbers to come in. So I just want to understand, are we coming in within budget? Is it going to, what are you thinking? And what do you think is the time frame that we will know that as a
So
board?
the plan at this point, I had the budget at 33 million at the last go around. The numbers coming in are still around 36. We want to be 35 or lower is kind of where we really wanted to be with this. I've made that very clear to our CMAR and everybody along the way. I don't know that we'll know until we actually go out for our guaranteed maximum price through our CMAR. We didn't build a library that has a lot to cut out of it. There's not a lot of special features where we could just cut and say, oh, we're going to save $2 million. It's got its special features, but they're not very cost absorbent, so
Yeah.
it's a lot with the current market. Doesn't seem to drop. The school district dropped just a ton of new projects at the end of the year as we're getting ready to go out to bid. So there's just a lot in play.
So does that mean it's more competitive to get
It's very
workers
competitive.
out there because we're having to compete with the school district and their projects?
I think we're seeing, inflation doesn't affect Vegas as much. You would normally see the labor market drop, but here, because we're putting so many projects out, the labor market is still tight. All the construction companies are busy, their subs are busy. We'll have Core has given us a very close estimate. And they're usually right on. So I'm confident we'll come in where we need to be. It's just not where we want to be. And I know budget wise, in terms of having the money in our capital program, we're well covered. It's not a matter of do we have the money to pay for it.
So we do, whether it's 33 million or 35 million,
Yeah.
you're saying we still have the money to
We have
cover that?
budgeted all the way up to 40 plus million for the project. We're certainly not planning on paying that much.
Right. Okay.
And then there's other, that doesn't even take into account a lot of the, our new markets tax credits that, we're working on capital campaign program money that we have out for the federal, so I don't want to count that because that's not guaranteed. So we work with what we have in our bank and we are in good shape.
So even if we don't have a capital campaign or we don't have certain things that would be extra, we still are able to afford this library
Yeah,
district
that
with our
money's-
own current budget
Yeah, already in the bank.
or in the bank, right?
And then we still have 2 more budget cycles as this gets built out,
Mhm.
to go through to further finance this, but am I talking okay for us now? I don't want to get in trouble, but
Well, I just thank you so much for everything that you're doing. I really, really appreciate it. And I know the executive director is working hard on this and it's not easy to build a brand new library. So thank you very much.
and I
just
certainly will
want
be
you to know that.
detailed on all of this, in the next couple of months as we move forward to bringing the contract to the board with where these numbers are coming out, I will be 100% transparent,
Mr. Chair, I have a follow-up question. And
Go ahead,
actually, it's for
trustee.
Mr. Watson, Director Watson. This board approved 32 million. Anything above that, I don't want a presentation. I'd like a motion to approve anything above 32 million. That's the way the motion
we
went.
haven't brought anything to the board reference to approval for
That's what we were
expenditures.
told at the last meeting. Please don't answer. Please don't answer.
Okay.
Well, we can go through the minutes and confirm,
Because I remember that specifically. And
but I do know that there will be a motion brought before the board for us to vote on.
that's correct. That's all I'm asking for.
So-
I'm not saying don't
So
do
we
it.
know that.
Oh, you got, there's nothing, there's nothing, we haven't committed to any.
Yeah, I know that, but
Right.
we're just saying that we know that there's and it may be a good education opportunity with our new board members as well, just to maybe come back at a subsequent board meeting. We can just revisit the timeline of key tasks so that everyone's on the same page in terms of
Absolutely. Of course.
what things will come before the board and so that we're all comfortable with the process.
That's an excellent suggestion.
And I would just add that you did a great job of that a couple meetings ago. And
Yes.
I'll probably find those in that.
No,
timeline in the
I've been
minutes
trying
as
to
well.
get the board.
You've been, I think you've done a
estimates,
terrific job.
Yeah, and we've tried not to sort of do it every meeting, but if we need to sort of, increase the frequency of that timeline and the key activities, we can do that to make sure we minimize miscommunication or different perceptions about what things should be or have not been taken care of.
Of course.
Okay. And then I want to, while you're here, I was going to take a moment to call up your report, but just more so just as thank you for your leadership. I know that Executive Director Watson has been critical as well. I've been invited to a lot of the council meetings, so I appreciate it. But just want to acknowledge all the effort that's been put forth to get us to this point. And I know we have all the confidence that we're going to bring this across the finish line. And it's going to be, and I tell everyone it's going to be the best library. Sometimes I say the West Coast and then I get really excited and say, oh, the United States, right? But I know I am very excited. I know the community is very excited about the project and I cannot wait to participate in the groundbreaking ceremony in December. So I hope that my fellow trustees will be able to fit into their calendars to also attend. I think that's going to be a tremendous event and milestone for us to participate in. Are there any other questions for Mr. Vito?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other reports or individuals that we want to bring up for questions or comment?
Can I just make a quick comment? I just want to comment that every time I read through these reports every month, I am just in awe and blown away by the creativity of this library district. I mean, looking at the partnership with the Sunrise Hospital, just one of the many examples, I never would have thought of my first library. I thank goodness for you, because what a great way to creatively reach out to our community. Just one of millions of examples that you all do every month for us. And it's amazing. So I just want to thank you. I just want to leave it at that. Fantastic.
I echo those remarks. Trustee Sanchez?
Can we please talk about the branding and marketing report?
Yes, go ahead and raise whatever questions or comments you might have.
Thank you.
Good evening, trustees. Betsy Ward, Branding and Marketing Director for the record.
Hello, Ms. Ward. How are you?
Hello, Ms. Sanchez. Good. How are
Good.
you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you're doing. And I'm just looking ahead. I'm wondering, is it something that we should do as a library district, knowing that we're going to have West Las Vegas Library? And I know you have everything handled, but I was thinking maybe perhaps something that we should think about is having an annual report, something that we can build with the community to let them know what the library is doing. I know that the foundation used to do that. I know that they have not had a chance, an opportunity to do that because of staffing issues, but perhaps something where we can do something together. I think that would be beneficial, especially knowing that we are having this West Las Vegas Library and people are talking about what is the foundation going to do. I would just say, I am not the foundation, but I would like to see if there's something that the board, the library district, and the foundation can do in that situation or under that circumstance.
So what we have, trustee Sanchez, is we have the library districts, it's sort of like our KPIs, the library at a glance. So that's something that the branding and marketing team puts together to demonstrate a lot of the statistics that we, and the programs, the number of card holders, what we've actually been doing. As it pertains to the West Las Vegas Library, what we plan on doing is we are, which will be coming forward to the board, is to engage with a capital campaign consultant and develop a piece specific for the West Las Vegas Library project. So that's the approach that we are planning to take as it pertains to that project. And as it pertains to the library district itself, again, we have the KPIs that Brandon and Marketing puts together. We have it on our website, we print it out, we have it in different ways that we share it with the public. So we can certainly send a link to all of the trustees so that you have that information, if that is helpful.
Well, I understand that, but I think that's different than what I'm saying. So, which is fine. But I wanted to ask you, Betsy, what do you see as the biggest increase from your marketing and branding? It seems like, I know you're using a company to help with the Facebook utilizations, and you're talking about people who don't utilize the library, but yet you're getting more clicks. But what are you seeing that is drawing more people to the library based on your marketing?
Oh, gosh, that's such a big question.
Sorry.
I would probably have to do a little research and get back to you to give you a really comprehensive answer. I mean, we like to think our Free to Be campaign has really helped to put the libraries on the map, not just in terms of perception, but the buildings themselves. We've gotten tremendous feedback about the signage that was really long needed, as the board has requested and we delivered upon. I mean, our social media is doing well. We are really happy with the results we're getting from Orange Boy, which is an email marketing software company that specializes in libraries. There's just no end to what they can do. Every month we're blown away by things they can do for us. So I guess I could give you a little bit more comprehensive report on that if you'd be interested.
I think so. I think it'd be good to see, like, this is what we're doing. And then these are the engagements that we're getting from people. And I know you have some of that.
Yeah, that's
you
really,
do have that in there because I've read it.
Yeah.
I guess my question is which one is getting the most bang for your buck? I guess that's my question. Which one is getting more, attributes? Is it from social media alone, and then people are, signing up for the library cards? I guess that's truly my question. And if you can't answer that now, that's fine, but perhaps that's something that you can bring in the next report.
Well, but here's what I would say right now, right off the cuff. I would say that, everything that we do is sort of a comprehensive approach. So it's not just one thing or another, it's the whole picture. One thing by itself, social media, when Facebook would never be enough because it's such a very specific audience. So we really look at all of our audiences because we have a lot of different audiences. And we really think about a multitude of ways to really impact them and meet people where they are in different places. And Director Watson has really emphasized that too, of meeting people where they are. I know you appreciate that too. So that's something that we really spend a lot of time in my department thinking about and exploring. So I guess I couldn't say it's one thing, really. I mean, we're pretty happy with all of our analytics in our reports month after month.
Yeah.
Even our, particularly our library highlights. My gosh, who gets 30 and 40% open rates? That's incredible, right?
Right.
As a marketer, I'm pretty blown away by that too. So
As a marketer, I'm pretty jealous.
yeah,
It's terrific.
right,
I was just noticing those rates are terrific.
right.
don't know if
And we're
that's-
so fortunate to have over 400,000 email addresses. What marketer wouldn't kill for that? So yeah, I think, we're really lucky. I feel very lucky to be in this position as a
Well, we thank
marketer.
you. Yeah, thank you for your time. And maybe I'll send Executive Director some pointed questions and then maybe we can just answer it that way. But thank you. Thank you for
Oh,
your time.
of
I really
course.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other closing comments, questions?
Could we have Mr. Cabayas, Forresto Cabayas?
Larissa Cabayas, CFO.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. I wanted to say thank you very much for cross-training the staff on your portfolio, fixed assets, cost receipts. I think that's wonderful that you're doing that. I have a question specifically. It's regarding what we discussed with John Vino. You're the finance guru. And so I just wanted to confirm that we're all set for the West Las Vegas Library. We have enough funds. We could even go up to 40 million if we wanted to. I just wanted to have that on the record.
Yes, Director Vino is absolutely right. We are prepared to pay for the entire cost of the West Las Vegas Library if needed, and that went all the way up to $40 million. Of course, Director Vino is also doing a tremendous job of controlling that cost. This is what is taking some time to ensure that we pay what we should be paying based on the market. He did a good job with discussing the costs here. But with that said, again, this is why I talk a lot in my presentations on the budget about having these capital reserves for different programming, whether it's construction or a building and maintenance and repair fund for what happened to Mount Charleston. But we are still seeking other funds. Trustee Sanchez, you're well aware of the New Markets Tax Program that we're working on with the foundation. And so there are funds there that'll offset the cost of the construction, along with the capital campaign that Director Dino mentioned, but we always assume that not having those additional funds, that we could still move forward with these projects that are priority of the district and the board.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? One more, Trustee Sanchez.
I just want to, again, thank the library district and the staff in particular. I would like to thank the people at the Summerlin Library and the folks who came from Windmill Library to volunteer at the Summerlin Fall Library. I got to meet wonderful staff. And so thank you to Deandra and Sasha Farrell, Terry Greenman, Ryan Simino, I hope I said that right, John Vino, and also Executive Director Watson. Thank you for that. That was really, really wonderful. And if I don't say it enough, the staff is truly remarkable, and it's just an honor to be a part of this board because of the people that work here. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, it's not, it's a request. It's not a program, but if the director can give us staff give us a presentation next meeting on jail services, just on that little area.
Could you say that one more time, Trustee Ortiz?
Sorry, if we could get a presentation on the library district's services to the jails,
Okay,
how many people they serve, just a 10-minute presentation, how we're doing with that. I know it got added, reinstituted, I believe. And so just a real brief presentation.
Okay, noted.
at the next meeting.
Felipe, did you also mean to include the prisons?
Well, do we cover the prisons also in that program or is that a separate program?
Do we? We don't.
Thank you very much.
Director for the record. We cover the Clark County Detention Center, North Valley Complex, and the Las Vegas City Misdemeanor Jail.
Thank you. I just want the public to know that we're reaching out to every population that we can.
Yep,
And so,
and
quick
duly noted,
presentation.
and we'll get that report for you next month.
And
Thank you very
for
much.
coming up to confirm the populations that we do support and serve.
Thank you.
Who are just as impacted. And then I know that we're going to close this part of the agenda out. I wanted to also, while we did neglect to share one important noteworthy news item, so I'll turn it over to Executive Director Watson to share that.
So first I want to say thank you to Chair Nathaniel Wah and Trustee Elizabeth Foyt and the staff members that accompanied me this afternoon to the Las Vegas Chamber Business of the Year luncheon, where the Library District was one of 5 finalists for this year. As I told the staff and I told the trustees, I think we are winners by just being, named one of the top 5. So we of course did not receive the award, but certainly just being recognized here in the community for the work that the Library District is doing, has done, and we continue to do through all of the things, all of the initiatives that we have in place, to include a lot of the partners that also were finalists in their different categories as well. So 3 Square was a partner. Mr. Jaime Cruz from Workforce Connections was a finalist for Executive of the Year. Dr. Keith Whitfield from UNLV, just on and on. A lot of the partners that we work with were also recognized today. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the trustees, the staff that attended, and all of the staff that put in the work day in and day out to support our community.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, team. And then also, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our newest trustees. This is their first meeting, Trustee Karen Dukowski and Trustee Christopher Shelton. Welcome to the team.
Well,
Thank you very much. I
yeah, thank you
appreciate
very-
it.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you very much. But I mean,
I'm-
I just wanted to comment too. I know that, Kelvin, you've done just a great job and, in my short amount of time being in Las Vegas. Thank you for going to DC and representing us. Thank you for your leadership and your inspiration to continue to do great things in the community. Thank you.
Yes, and I want to say that I'm so glad to be here and I appreciate the opportunity of being a trustee, and I'm looking forward to serving the library district, and anything that I can help with, just call on me. Thank you.
All right. And then, so we'll move to our unfinished business, which is none under agenda. Oh, do we have a motion to accept the reports as presented by the chair and the fellow directors?
Motion to accept the reports.
Do we have a
All
second?
reports.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Councilman Welch. My iPad's not cooperating with me, it's jumping around. Okay, we don't have anything under unfinished business under agenda item number 8, so we will go to agenda item number 9, new business. And under consent agenda, we have one item, discussion and possible board action to approve the days of closing for calendar year 2024. Do we have someone who will be presenting that?
It's on consent.
Oh, on consent.
Is it
Yeah, just,
possible to talk, I know we have to close and I want to respect people's holiday time. I also just feel like every year when I look at these, I think about, kids and families out of school who could be a prime need to have programming or participate in programming or be a part of it. I know it's not realistic, so I understand that. And want everyone to also be home on the holidays, but some of these I do look at and think that potentially there's an opportunity for us to be a resource in the community at a time when families especially might need it.
Trustee Sanchez?
I just have a question is, are these calendared because that is what the union contract stipulates? Okay. Okay. That's what okay, just wanted to.
And the only new one, Mr. Chair, is Juneteenth Day. Is that correct? Did we take it last year?
I think Sue did.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks so much.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the proposed days of closing for calendar year 2024?
Approve the new calendar for 2024.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Regular agenda. No items. So do we have any announcements?
I just have a comment, if that's okay. At our last meeting, we had to discuss performance evaluations, and I know that some of the board members were not ready to discuss future performance evaluation goals. And I feel like that's something that we all need to do as a board collectively. And so I'm asking the question to our attorney, how do we go about doing that? Because some of the board members were not prepared during that meeting. They did not know that that was part of the meeting. And so what do we do for the future?
Well, my understanding was the executive committee was meeting to come up with a schedule and a calendar and a process. So I guess my response initially would be to wait for that to develop and then see if anything needed to happen in the interim.
Well, my only concern with that is that's about the process. That's not the actual goals for the year. And then unless that is also included, and why would the whole board not be involved when the whole board was involved in the performance evaluation? That's my question.
Well, I think it's just going to be a proposal. It's not going to
Right.
to the whole board.
Right. For the record, Jeffrey Serpico, and I don't want to, Director of HR, I don't want to speak for Chair Waugh, but I believe the process and the draft of goals was going to be discussed at that meeting, and also the evaluation format going forward, and then that would come to the board after that.
So
Yeah.
would the board be able to input what they believe should be for the goals? Would they be able to input the goals, or is that exclusively to the executive committee? I'm trying to understand.
I think that's part of the process. That's going to be
Input from all the
defined.
board
Yeah.
members.
Input from all, but we're formalizing that process with that, and that meeting is going to be set, I believe. It was.
Yeah, and so the gist of the process, as I understand it from speaking with Trustee Waugh, is that we would, Executive Director Watson would present his proposed goals, and then we would have an opportunity to review those goals together and make recommendations and adjustments so that we leave with agreed upon goals between the board and Executive Director Watson.
Do you have a time frame of when that will happen?
I don't have all those details. But we can certainly, I can get with Trustee Waugh to make sure that we send that out so that we're all on the same page and operating under the same understanding on what the scope of the work is going to be and the timeline in which it's going to occur.
Mr. Chairman, I'm thoroughly confused. Mr. Watson works for the trustees. He's our only employee. We set the goals for him, not the other way around. And then he did a great job of, I voted to give him a raise this past year, but we set the goals, our expectations. We set the agenda, and then he goes out to see how he can get that accomplished.
Yeah, I think we're clear on that. I think.
Yes, I don't think
I'm sorry,
there's
I have the
no one's debating.
Permission, I have the floor. So I just want to make sure of that. Thank you very much. I didn't mean to cut you off, but let me finish. And so I just want to make sure that's real clear. Because the staff works for Mr. Watson, and then we just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And if you can lastly put a time frame on it for December, so that we don't wait, because his evaluation was 6 months late. Okay. Thank you so
Are we
much.
hope in that? So yeah, I guess that's the question. You'll get back to us on the timeline.
Yes, we will send it out.
Thank you. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Mhm.
Actually, last one.
Any other questions? Okay. Any other announcements that we want to share? And then I won't read all the announcements that are on the agenda. Ebony, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No, we do not.
All right, seeing that there's no one signed up for public comment, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move for a motion to adjourn.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
John, could you wait a second?
And welcome new board members.
Philippe, Chris Shelton, please give me a call. How are you?
Good, I will, sir. And I will too. Get to Mesquite. Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk. Take care.
Your closed door, that's a little bit longer than I thought.